Most men die twice. Once when their heart stops, and once when they realize they were never really alive, just trained to be soft. You think you're a good man? Good men don't get remembered. Good men get used, discarded, and buried in the fine print of someone else's story. Machiavelli saw this 500 years ago. He wasn't a philosopher. He was a surgeon who cut the weakness out of men who wanted power. And today, I'm giving you his 7 brutal lessons, the same ones that turn weak men into kings. But I'm warning you now, if you're comfortable being nice, stop this video, because by the time we're done, you'll never look at kindness the same way again. Niccolò Machiavelli, the man everyone lies about. They say he was evil. They say he taught cruelty. No, he taught reality. He watched princes rise and fall. He saw what happened when men led with emotion instead of strategy. And he wrote The Prince, not as a fantasy, but as a survival manual for men who refuse to lose. This isn't self-help, this is a power reset, a blueprint for alpha mindset and dominance. If you're ready to stop being the man who gets walked on and start being the man who walks through walls, stay locked in. 7 lessons, no fluff. Let's go. Here's where most men get buried, the kindness trap. A truth that will make weak men call me toxic. Kindness without power is self-destruction. Machiavelli said men change their nature the second it serves them. Translation: the moment your kindness stops benefiting them, they won't remember it, but they'll never forget your weakness. Real example: a guy named Marcus, the nice manager at a construction firm, gave extensions, never yelled, bought his crew lunch. When the company had to lay someone off, who did his own men nominate? Marcus, because they saw him as the weakest link. They respected the foreman who was fair but feared. Marcus? He was just convenient. Machiavelli's warning: it's better to be feared than loved if you can't be both. You want to be a king? Understand this: your kindness is a currency. Spend it on everyone. It becomes worthless. Are you spending it wisely? We'll come back to Marcus. What he did next will make you rethink every nice decision you've ever made. But before we get to Marcus, you need to understand why being liked is a trap. And that's exactly what the next lesson reveals. Lesson 2. Appearances are the only reality. Stop believing people judge you by your intentions. They don't. They judge what they see. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." Weak men obsess over authenticity. Kings obsess over controlling perception. Real example: 2 men walk into a negotiation. One wears a hoodie, slouches, speaks softly. The other wears a tailored jacket, stands still, pauses, and says, "These are my terms. You have 10 minutes. Who wins? The second man, even if his offer is worse. Because presence precedes reality. Now look at every high-value man you admire. They aren't showing you their real self. They're showing you the version that commands. Machiavelli's lesson: if you don't craft how the world sees you, the world will craft it for you, and it will make you weak. So ask yourself, what are you projecting right now? But here's the twist. Machiavelli said, there's one appearance you should never fake. We'll get there. Keep watching. And while you're crafting that image, ask yourself, are you also making yourself a target? The next lesson will show you why fear is your best shield. The next one will cost you if you ignore it. Keep your hands on the lever of fear. Most men avoid conflict because they're afraid of being hated. Machiavelli knew something they don't. Hate is manageable. Contempt is fatal. He said men have less hesitation offending a man who is loved than one who is feared. Love is held by obligation, and obligation breaks the second it's inconvenient. Real example: Cesare Borgia, appointed a cruel minister to pacify a lawless region. The minister did brutal things, restored order. Then Borgia had the minister publicly executed. Why? To show the people the cruelty was his, not mine, but the order remains. Borgia didn't care about being liked. He cared about control. You don't have to be a tyrant, but you must make it clear that crossing you has a cost. Weak men hope people will do the right thing. Kings ensure people know the wrong thing leads to consequences. Remember Marcus? After he was laid off, he came back as a consultant. New rule, no favors, no discounts, no emotional appeals. He became the highest paid contractor in his city. He stopped being liked. He started being feared. His phone never stopped ringing. But here's the problem. Fear alone won't make you a king if your kingdom is built on rented land. That's exactly what Lesson 4 is about. Now this is where most men stay weak forever. Never build on someone else's foundation. A king builds his own table. He doesn't beg for a seat at someone else's. If your status depends on another person's approval, you're not a king. You're a tenant. If your confidence can vanish with a single client or a whisper from your circle, you're weak. Machiavelli would tell you self-sufficiency is the only real safety. Real example. Men who make "I work for a great company" their entire identity. Then the company restructures and they're gone. Their confidence was rented. Machiavelli's fix. Build in silence. Let your foundation be invisible until it's unshakable. Strategic thinking means you don't announce your power. You just become impossible to ignore. Here's a question for the comments. I want you to fight over it. At what point does independence become paranoia? Drop it below. I'll be reading. But independence means nothing if you can't back it up with real skill. And the next lesson reveals the one thing you must actually be, not just appear to be. Lesson 5. The one appearance you never fake. I told you we'd come back to this. Machiavelli said you can appear merciful, faithful, humane, upright, religious, and you should. But there's one thing you must actually be: competent. He wrote, "The prince who relies entirely on fortune is ruined when fortune changes." In modern terms, project power, but can't deliver results. The illusion collapses instantly. Real example. A YouTuber built a huge following on hustle culture. Flashy cars, big speeches. Then he launched a paid course and couldn't fulfill it. His audience turned on him faster than any enemy. Why? Not because he was greedy, because he was incompetent while pretending to be a king. Machiavelli's rule: you can be feared, you can be manipulative, you can be ruthless. But if you are incompetent, you will be despised, and that's the one position you never recover from. So if you take nothing else from this video, take this. Become dangerously good at something real, then let the appearance match the capability. Control your life by mastering your craft. But here's where most men stop, and that's exactly why they stay weak. Because the next lesson is the one Machiavelli reserved for men who want to rule, not just survive. And this next lesson is dangerous. If you use it wrong, you become a tyrant. If you never use it, you stay a doormat. Watch closely. Lesson 6. The cruelty of clean hands. Machiavelli made a distinction that changed how I see everything. Cruelty that's well used versus cruelty that's pointless. He said cruelty can be called well used if it's done once out of necessity and then turned to the benefit of the subjects. Translation: if you have to do something harsh, do it fast, do it decisively, and never do it again. Weak men drag out conflicts. They give second, third, fourth chances. They hope people change. Kings end problems at the root. Real example. A tech CEO I studied had a senior partner undermining him, spreading rumors, delaying projects, testing authority. The CEO didn't argue, didn't have a conversation. He called the partner into a room, laid out the evidence, and said, "You're out. Security is waiting." One moment of controlled cruelty. Then he walked out, gathered the team, and said, "The direction of this company is not negotiable. Now let's work." The company grew 300% the next year. Why? Because everyone knew the line, and they respected the clarity. Machiavelli's warning, do this constantly, you become a tyrant who gets overthrown. Never do it, you become a doormat who gets destroyed. The art is in the single surgical strike. Marcus again. When he returned as a consultant, his first client was the same firm that laid him off. He tripled his rate. When they hesitated, he said, "You had your chance at the old price. That window is closed." He didn't yell, didn't gloat, made his point once, cleanly. Now they called him the king of the site. Not ironically. Now you know how to strike. But if you only know one way to fight, you'll lose the war. The final lesson gives you the switch that separates survivors from rulers. Final lesson. Know when to be the fox and when to be the lion. Machiavelli's most famous metaphor, and most men get it wrong. He said the lion can't protect himself from traps, and the fox can't defend himself from wolves. The prince must be a fox to recognize traps and a lion to frighten the wolves. Weak men choose one mode and stay there. They're either aggressive all the time, burning bridges, or cunning all the time, never taking direct action. Kings switch. Real example. A music producer I studied. A label tried to trap him with a predatory contract. He played the fox, smiled, signed, then quietly used their own infrastructure to build his own artist roster. When the label realized they'd been outmaneuvered, they tried to intimidate him. That's when he became the lion, walked into their headquarters, laid out the legal and reputational consequences, and said, "You can try, but I've already won." They backed down. He now owns his own label. Machiavelli's lesson, don't be predictable. If you're only a lion, they'll trap you. If you're only a fox, they'll devour you. Be both. Switch at the right moment. 7 lessons, 7 weapons. But there's one final question, one that Machiavelli himself couldn't answer, and I'm leaving it for you. Now here's the question Machiavelli himself never answered, and why I'm leaving this video open for you to fight over in the comments. He taught men how to gain power, but he never resolved what happens after. Because every king who rules by these principles eventually faces one question: can you trust anyone once you've learned to trust no one? Machiavelli's own life ended in bitterness. He served princes, lost his position, was tortured, and died in obscurity. So here's the loop I want you to sit with. These 7 lessons will make you powerful. But if you apply them without a code, without something beyond yourself, you end up alone in a castle you built for one. Is that still a king? Or is that just a successful prison? That's not me being soft. That's me asking the question Machiavelli couldn't answer. Drop your take in the comments. I'll read everyone, and I'll pin the best, even if it calls me out. Lesson 1 scared most men away. You stayed. That makes you dangerous. Machiavelli said the wise man does at once what the fool does finally. Don't wait until life forces you to become hard. Start now. If this video hit something real in you, there's more where it came from. Hit the like button. It tells the algorithm there are still men who want the truth, not comfort. Subscribe and dig through the channel. Every video is a weapon. Use them. And if you're ready to go deeper, the next one breaks down the 5 psychological traps that keep weak men in chains, and how to crush them before they even know you're playing the game. Power isn't given. It's taken by men who understand the rules that weak men pretend don't exist. I'll see you in the comments.